What's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of Chrissy Chaos. We're thinking about changing the name to Christopher Chaos. And when I say we're thinking about it, it means I just thought about it and I won't do it. We're coming to you live yet again from Austin, Texas, the state capital of Texas, who they do want to secede from the union. They've made their plans clear. And so right now I don't feel like I'm in enemy territory. I do feel like I am in the United States, but little by little, kind of looking around, I do feel if they want to secede, then I have my right to defend my country. And, as I said last podcast, my country is tis of thee. And it's I like Texas. I really do. I really do like Texas. But I just want you guys to just be careful with the talk of secession for the United States. Just be careful, okay? Because, dude, like, fucking, I'm one of the original founding members of this country. I actually am so American. I'm so from the 13 colonies that I'm loyal to the British, and I send taxes to the Queen, who's dead. I send taxes to her gravesite every year because I'm paying, and I send it like they did in colonial times. I send a bag of coins.
That's not even coffee, is it?
No, dude. That's tea. That's British tea.
And fish it out of the river.
And as you can tell by my guest accent, he's also from one of the original 13. We have the great Jeff Arcuri, everybody.
Hello.
Not Jeff Arcuri.
Oh, nice.
Do people say it wrong?
All the time.
What do you get?
I get a curry.
Yeah?
I've gotten some weird ones, like a kunti.
A kunti?
Yeah, which feels a little...
That's passive aggressive.
yeah. And then, but it's a curry. Our curry is a lot of it. But I'm not Italian enough to correct them. Right. You know what I mean? I have the Polish and Irish in me that I'm like, it's whatever you want.
That's the thing. Arcuri is a very Italian last name, but then Jeff isn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you spell it Jeff?
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people who spell it with the G, it's stupid.
It's weird. And there's no J in the Italian. Wait, is it? There's no J in the Italian alphabet.
Yeah. And then do you get constantly, I'm sure that when that movie came out, 21 Jump Street.
Yes, still to this day.
Oh, God, how annoying is that?
It sucks. Did you have
Jeff?
Yeah, thanks for doing it. It's
so annoying.
It sucks because people do it and they're like, they look at you to be like, that's a good one, right? And I always just go,
yeah.
Do you ever get those with your name?
Right? What do I get? My name's Chris. What do I, Christopher. Do I ever? I don't. There's no lines in a movie about Chris. I do. Distefano. People typically don't try it. It's usually Distefano, which I don't care. But sometimes it'll go just wild. Like I remember, I got introduced on stage once as Chris Distefano. And I was like, all right. I was like, that's kind of wild.
Wow, you went from Italian to Greek royalty.
Yeah, it's like quickly. Uncle Jesse's, like from Full House. And so I don't care anymore. I'm not, because people, even like my last name is spelled. It's supposed to be DISTEFANO, but my S is small. I have the small S. I don't really care.
So what? Because there is another Distefano. It's Distefano. Is it Mike?
Mike Distefano was he passed away years ago. But yeah, people. What I did get a lot from the older comics, older generations, is they would quite often tell me, because everyone loved Mike Distefano. They would quite often tell me, I'd just be sitting there like trying to do comedy, just be in the present, and Colin Quinn or Jim Norton or somebody would just come over unprovoked and just say, we wish you died and the other Distefano was here.
Oh shit!
We just wish that. Just so you know, we wish Mike was alive and you were dead.
Isn't that one of those things, like one of those Cellar things though, where you're like, oh cool, I'm in now.
Oh yeah,
you get razzed like that.
Oh, I mean, and I think, when did you start doing the Comedy Cellar?
March 2022.
Okay, so that was like years ago. Like it was before, like you don't even have that back. Keith Robinson's had a stroke. These guys. Patrice O'Neill is dead. Like when I first got in, you would sit back there at that back table and you would get fucking demolished, and they would be demolishing each other, crushing each other, whatever. And then it would come to you and you have to say something.
Yeah.
And, especially being young, being not knowing, being nervous. 95% of the time I would say something that would fucking bomb.
Yeah.
And then you just wanted to absolutely die.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
oh yeah.
I remember one time I had a spot I had a spot at like whatever 10 o'clock. We're sitting at that back table. Esty was there, who books the Comedy Cellar. And I was like going on next, and I bombed so hard just in the talk that she wouldn't let me go on.
No,
she took my spot away from me.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That
just
sucks.
let it, dude. I've had some dude. One time I bombed so hard at it was called the Washington D.C. Comedy Loft or the D.C. Comedy Loft, and I'm sorry, it's Arlington Draft House, but in D.C. So the D.C. Draft House. So I don't even think it's a club anymore. But not only did I bomb so hard, but I sold so few tickets that I had to give money back to the club.
Oh, no.
Like my agent even agreed, like this is the right thing to do as a human being. Because of just how hard I sucked at those shows. And I guess at the time my agent, I don't remember who it was, like said like, oh, Chris is really going to sell. And I sold like 9 tickets the whole weekend.
Shit.
So I had to give money back. And it was just kind of like, that's just what happens.
Oh,
you know,
I had a club one time tell me, they're like, you're 10 tickets away from hitting your bonus.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I'll fucking buy them. You can't, like, if you're 2 away, I'm like, I'm not going to go online and spend $30 to make a lot more money. But that SC thing reminds me of, like, I remember one time, it wasn't even that long ago. I've been in the cellar for like a year at this point now when this happened. And I said something at the table with SD and like a couple other comics, and she laughed, like everyone laughed. And I just went home. Yeah. I was just like, oh, gotta go. And I was like, that's it. I gotta win.
Dude, I respect the shit out of Esty. She's an Israeli woman, fought in the Israeli army. I respect her. When I had my first child, I asked her to stop. I said, hey, this was like whatever, 2015. I go, like you give me like these late spots, like a Tuesday night at like, 12 o'clock or Tuesday night at 11:30 p.m., whatever. I have a small baby, like, I help out as much as I can, and I was like, if possible, like, can I just get earlier spots?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, sure. And so the next week she gave me a spot at like 11:25.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And then I was like, oh yeah, like, like still like pretty late, whatever. She goes, okay. You want the early spot? I go, yeah. She goes, okay. She goes, yeah, because it's she goes, I get it. It's you need to be there for the baby. I get it. You have to do that. That's nice. She goes, I fought in the Israeli army and I raised a kid by myself because my husband was killed in the war. But you do comedy in America and it's tough for you. So okay, I give you spot 11. Is that good? But, and then you just fucking kind of have to suck it up and just fucking deal with it, and then kind of just like not on the outs, but you kind of like just in the doghouse for a couple of months.
Oh yeah,
and then I did a fucking joke. I shit on Palestine. She loved it, and I'm back in, baby.
There you go.
Fuck it. Yeah, that's what it is. You just fucking take a shit on fucking Gaza for the Israeli owners, and then you just bang, dude.
We were joking about that. We were joking around when all that was going on, which is always. We were like at the table. We're like, every time no one passed, we were just trying to be like, fucking Palestine. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see you guys.
I know. That's fucking shit. But we'll see what happens. What I like, what the connection, what a lot of people don't know about Jeff and I, other than both of us having heads that are too big for their bodies, other than both of us having abnormally large heads, where I grew up, in Ridgewood, Queens, my bedroom, my whole life, I could see Myrtle Avenue. It's a big, avenue in where I lived in Queens. And I would look out my window and I would see this place, a flower bridal shop place called Flowerama. And they had the sign Flowerama written down the spine of the building. And that was a direct eye line from my bedroom. I would look at Flowerama every day and night of my whole childhood, to the point where when I get like tattoos, I'm like, should I get Flowerama tattooed? It's such a part of my existence. And I just, whatever, it's just part of my thing and whatever. And then I meet Jeff a few years ago, and I just immediately kind of looked at him and I felt like a child again. I felt like I felt like a prepubescent boy. I started getting horny. I had no pubes. And I started saying, why am I so connected to Jeff? What is this? And then we started talking, and then he proceeds to tell me that his father owned Flowerama.
Yeah.
How wild is that? This man who I looked at this my whole life fucking owned Flowerama. Unbelievable.
And then what'd you say? You said that every year you egged that business.
I did egg that.
And
I was
so
going to leave that part out, but yes, you as the family business. We did egg. We did kind of. Everyone kind of just aimed for the O in Flowerama with eggs every Halloween.
Yeah,
and we would kind of just light it up.
And I called my dad. When we were at Rosemont Zanies when that happened. Yeah. And I was in agreement that I called my dad. He's like, every fucking year. Every year we
used to light that place the fuck up.
My dad just some chubby guy with a mustache just cleaning the eggs off every single year.
Would you go to that business a lot as a kid? Like go with your dad to work type thing?
I think twice. I went with my dad. And then my mom would make me hang out with my grandpa. Like it was one of those things. Like 'cause my grandpa owned the mall. Because there was a couple locations,
right?
And then, or a few, and then my dad would bring me with me, or my mom would be like, "It's grandfather time," and he'd come pick me up,
right,
in his Jaguar,
right,
and then we'd go into the city. And I remember that was the first time I heard a slur. It was my grandfather.
Yeah,
was when we were. Remember
Tell
me
what neighbor you're driving through, and I can guess the slur.
I don't remember. I remember we stopped at a deli.
Okay,
and we go to get sandwiches for going fishing. We're getting some deli sandwiches to go fishing.
Right.
And as we pulled up in his Jaguar, and he had a nice, it was a green Jaguar with tan leather seats.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And we're in the deli, probably 20 feet from the car. And as we're in the car, we hear a smash, and he runs outside, and a guy smashed his window and took the car phone out. And like jacked the car phone out and ran away.
Right.
And my grandfather yelled a bad word.
Yes. And you heard it.
I heard it. And I remember looking up, and I remember thinking, that's the first time I've heard that word.
I heard that. And then you turned around and the deli counter guys were like, you guys get free sandwiches for saying what you just said. Yeah.
And then I haven't stopped saying it since.
That's it. Yeah. You can check it out as work. But yeah, so it's such an interesting thing to me how like we're all kind of like cosmically connected. But you didn't grow up in Queens though, right?
No, I was a Long Island kid.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, we lived in like Comac, Suffolk County.
Oh, way out there.
Nice house too. Like we came up kind of like with a little bit of money because of all that Flowerama stuff. And then my grandfather kind of they ended the relationship with my father, and my dad got nothing out of it. So your dad and granddad stopped talking? Yep.
What the fuck? Still to this day?
He's dead, so they don't talk at all.
Now they are talking. Now they have the best relationship they've ever had.
Yeah. Well, wow. I remember we found out
Your dad didn't get that Flowerama money?
No.
Fuck.
No, yeah, that was the thing that kind of like that did suck but I was
You're
also
like, way to go, Dad. Now I got to get out of here talking to these fucking crowds, cutting up clips on TikTok and Reddit because your ass couldn't have a relationship with Dad. Now I have to get out of here like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, we found out he died like a week after the funeral or something like that, but it was bad.
Shit.
And I remember it was like, do not talk to that side of the family. Do not talk to that.
And still to this day, they're like, anybody associated with that, they're out.
Kind of. They've like mended some relationships.
They're not getting tickets to the Paramount.
No.
Where you're at.
No, they would. I still have I talk to my uncles.
I actually respect that. Yeah, why not?
I have one uncle, his younger brother, that they didn't talk for a while. Now they do. And I'm really close with his son, my cousin.
Right.
He comes to so many shows, and same last name.
Right.
And then my other uncle is a hippie. So this is kind of funny. He's a hippie, like followed the Grateful Dead for 30 years.
Yeah.
And he makes tie-dye.
Okay.
And so him and my brother, my dad's brother, opened up a tie-dye shop together in Greenpoint.
Oh, sick.
And it's a tie-dye. They like work with Chubby Checker, like the guy that did the Checker pants.
Okay.
Whatever that is. And they like succeeded with that, and then they split because my family's businesses never work out. Yeah. So my one uncle does tie dye out of the bus. You ever see the bus at McCarran Park? The tie dye bus. That's my uncle.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I remember we were walking to the Turkey's Nest to watch a football game, and there was my uncle was selling tie dye shirts out of the bus. Yeah. And my one friend was, or not my friend, it was a comic. It just goes, look at that guy, huh? I was like, yeah, it's my uncle. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, no, it is. And he goes, what if I go fuck with him? Like, because he's your uncle. And I go, that'd be mean. I don't know. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. This guy's selling tie-dye T-shirts out of a bus because we couldn't get it together with Flowerama. Like, it's already going through enough.
They have competing like tie-dye stores. One's out of a bus, one's at the store.
Dude, I mean, this is the show. This is the show.
Yeah. And it's so funny because my one uncle is like Italian, all business, and the other one's all hippie. So when they work together, you'd walk in and he'd be like, "Which one of these crystals is talking to you?" Right. And the other uncle's like, 2 for $20, by the way.
Yeah. But that's good dynamic. You need that.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh God, if only your grandfather was alive, man.
Yeah. See, what for? What?
Just so he could fucking, so we could just kind of patch it up and we could get that Flowerama money.
Yeah.
We got to get that Flowerama money for you.
I think it's funny because I think they did sell They sold like that business or whatever, and I don't know who got that money.
Dude, by the way, the Flower-Rama, when you left, it turned into a Korean grocery store, which I think somebody lit on fire. And now it is just vacant, by the way. So that Flower-Rama is vacant. So if you, with your comedic success, want to get back in there and fucking, really kind of like reestablish your family's dominance in my neighborhood, you buy Flower-Rama back right now.
Flower-Rama Comedy Club.
That'd be sick. Bro, I don't know if you know, Ridgewood, Queens is like one of the most up-and-coming neighborhoods in the entire country.
Yeah, they got like that Grove 34. Like,
Ridgewood's sick. So, like, right now is the spot for Flower-Rama. If you want to go in on it, I'll do it, dude.
But I do think that the physical wedding industry is dying. Like, people aren't paying, like, because that was what it was. It was like you go there and you get your whole wedding done. Yeah. Travel agency, wedding dresses, tuxedo rentals, videography, photography.
One-stop shop.
Everything. Yeah.
Now it's like they got an app for that. And you're also, I could tell your family, your grandfather wasn't the kind of grandfather was going to be like, and it's no his and his. It's only his and hers.
He would be.
We're not doing two fucking grooms. Okay?
Oh, I bet you.
Yeah.
I bet you.
Hey, you stealing my car phone, you fucker.
Yeah, you.
What? Yeah. Bad word.
Bad word. Yeah. Let's just say he wouldn't be happy about the Korean grocery store.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I get that. I know. Shout out Korean people, by the way. I do love Korean people. And I do actually think, like, everyone always makes, like, cleaners jokes. Number one, they're amazing at it, and they're good at it. And number two, the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches in my neighborhood are the Korean delis.
Really?
Shout out to Korean people. They might be North Korean or South Korean. To me, it doesn't matter.
That's the first thing I have people try when they come. Not bagels, nothing. It's bacon, egg, and cheese is from bodega.
Well, it's like a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like you go, like people don't. There's a place I forgot. It's in some other country. Copenhagen. My neighbors were telling me about a place in Copenhagen. The guy lived in New York and then just moved to Copenhagen for some business stuff, and then that business fell through. So he was like, you know what? He started making bacon, egg, and cheeses, just regular New York cities from New York bacon, egg, and cheeses, and he just was making them in his house for himself, and then he started giving them to his neighbors, and now he's got one of the hottest restaurants in Copenhagen because he just makes bacon, egg, and cheeses because it blows their mind that this food even exists.
That's great.
Yeah.
A little bit of hot sauce.
You like a little bit of hot sauce?
I like a little bit of hot sauce. Yeah, I got my girl on it. Yeah.
Bacon, egg, and cheese with mayonnaise, too, is something that the Puerto Ricans do.
Really?
Yes. It's a Puerto Rican delicacy.
Doesn't sound good, but...
No, but they like it. And I just want to say muy bien. Hi, honey. I want to talk to you about the #1 meal kit for clean eating, delivering pre-portioned and prepped quality whole foods with limited processed ingredients. You know what I'm talking about. Green Chef. Love Green Chef. Sends organic, fresh produce, responsibly sourced proteins, and chef-designed recipes in every box for satisfying, nourishing, and convenient meals that make it easy to stick to a clean routine. Violet, I'm trying to do the ads, okay? Do you want to continue to go to school? Do you want me to continue to be able to pay for school? Then you need to let me get through Green Chef, okay? Because not only does it sustain us financially, it also sustains us physically because I love their food and they have very high quality ingredients. And it's beautiful. Listen, Green Chef, they have so many delicious fruits and veggies ripe and in season, and I'd like them ripe. Fall is the perfect time to dig into Green Chef. We're talking squash, cranberries, Brussels sprouts, green beans, maple, pumpkin. You'll find these whole foods and more in chef-crafted recipes designed to celebrate fall flavors. Who doesn't love a fall flavor? Save time in the kitchen with premium ingredients that arrive prepped. Many come pre-chopped and ready to cook, like pre-measured sauces, spices, and dressings. So right now, if you go to greenchef.com/chaos50 and use the code chaos50 for 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next 2 months. That's code chaos50 at greenchef.com/chaos50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. KiwiCo, KiwiCo, how I love my KiwiCo. We love KiwiCo in this house. If you have children, you need to get KiwiCo. It is awesome. It literally, it gets the kids off their devices. It gets them learning how to build stuff, learning how to make stuff, building a sense of confidence within themselves, and even confidence within me as an adult. Because you know me, I can't build anything in KiwiCo because it's just step by step. Last week, I built a pinball machine with the kids. I mean, I stepped on it and I broke it an hour later, but I still built it. Confidence, Chrissy confidence. KiwiCo, it's awesome. Right now, they are launching KiwiCo clubs to engage kids on a journey of seriously fun learning. Comprehensive learning journey with KiwiCo Club kids will learn the fundamentals through hands-on projects and progressively build their skills with each new project they work on. Watch your kids go from learning to build bows and arrows to engineering their own robot. Listen, KiwiCo, they send crafts, science projects, arts and crafts, all different types of things. They send them to the house. The box comes, my kids go nuts, and they all sit around the table building whatever craft. What?
Are you having a stroke?
What do you mean am I having a stroke? I'm doing the KiwiCo ad.
That's so whack.
Why is it whack?
Oh my God, you're putting me to sleep.
I'm putting you to what? Well, then you want to be woken up? I got two options. I can either take you upstairs to the bedroom and wake you up, or I can wake you up with KiwiCo. KiwiCo, yes, KiwiCo does the legwork for you so you can spend quality time tackling projects together. There's no commitment, so you can pause or cancel at any time. As a parent, it can be hard to find creative ways to keep children engaged, challenged, and off their screens, and KiwiCo does that. And right now, of course, you're always going to get a discount for listening and being loyal listeners to this podcast. Tinker, create, and innovate with KiwiCo. Get up to 50% off your first crate at kiwico.com, promo code chaos. That's up to 50% off your first crate at kiwico.com, promo code chaos. So you have a girl.
I do. Fiance now.
Whoa, fiance.
Yeah.
So you're engaged.
I am.
Engaged.
Yeah. We've been together for 20 years. No, we've only been together for like 5 months.
5 months and you just went all in, dude. This has got fucking family business drama written all over it. Dude, you're going to want, this is so bad.
I know. We were even joking about her like becoming a tour manager, like coming with us.
Oh, that's the worst idea ever. Do it.
My friends were like, yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea.
Oh my God, please do it. This is okay. So fun. Okay, let's go. This is fun.
Yeah.
So 5 months. You met her 5 months ago?
I met her technically. Yeah, I met her 5 months ago.
And you guys are engaged? Yes, dude. Oh, yes. Woo! This is great, dude. Hey, listen, dude. I'm fucking crazier than you. I met her, when Jasmine, the mother of my children, we conceived our first daughter like fucking month 1. Like we just were fucking in. Yeah, dude. So, but this is gonna be so fucking bad. Oh my God. Yeah, dude. This never works. Yes, 5 months engaged. Prenup? Don't do a prenup. Just go all in. Go all in, dude. No, don't. I would fucking get married tomorrow. Just fucking do it. If you're gonna,
I don't like the eagerness that you have right now.
Bro,
I'm
5 months in. Okay, what does she do? Let me hear about her.
She was the Bachelorette a few years ago.
Oh my God! Reality star. I met her 5 months ago. Jeff, but this is what the comedians have been rooting for. Your downfall.
Oh no!
No, I'm kidding. Oh. No. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's
if only you had a family business that she could get her dress at.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she will. It's gonna be our business.
Flowerama though, but would you have put her through Flowerama if that was still there? Would you be like, babe, you got to get your shit from here?
I don't know the context. I think there's like if it was my family still worked in wedding dresses and stuff, maybe. Yeah.
Wait, so what's the plan here? Where are you guys living? New York, LA? What are you guys gonna do?
So it is long distance right now.
She lives
in LA.
Okay.
I live in New York.
So it's long distance. She's a reality star. I met her 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Put a ring on it. I love it.
Yeah. It's kind of like once you say it all out loud, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, this is going to be, make no mistake. You're going to walk out of this podcast and I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch you through the window for about 20 minutes. You're going to sit in the car and I'm just going to see you kind of looking at your phone and I'm going to see you like this. And then I'm just going to start, you're going to start waving your hands and you're like, I know, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. You know what, hun? I'll talk to you when I get back home. That's what it's going to be. And then, dude, what I've done, my friend, I've planted a seed.
Oh no! Well, there's already there's a little bit of a weed growing in there.
I can see your whole posture change. Now you're like on a roller coaster. You're like this, going through the podcast. You're just holding both things.
No, I'm chilling. I'm really confident. I know, because I just did Bobby Kelly's podcast and he ripped me up pretty good.
He said the same thing.
Yeah, he actually was pulling up pictures of her making out with guys on the show.
Oh, see how the old school class of comics are meaner than
I
us.
know, and
See?
the thing is, the comments are all like, "Leave him alone."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that doesn't help. That I couldn't defend but I wasn't like, comics rib each other differently than like,
dude.
it's you take it as like a compliment. Almost.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You also depend on comics like we're doing jokes like it's like how we kind of deal with, because I know it's, first of all, it's stressful to like get married. There's a lot of pressure. I'm sure there's thoughts pumping into your head. So I feel like it's good for comics for us to just kind of say what's out there, and then we just make fun of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, so what? Get married. Hopefully you guys last forever. And if you don't, you fucking deal with that shit.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it just because I've been in a lot of relationships. And this is the first one that when I started talking to her, we just mostly texted the first like 2 weeks. I was in the hospital. We were supposed to meet for a drink. I was performing in Hawaii, and then I was performing in San Jose.
Okay.
And so I went from Hawaii, and then I had like 3 days off, and then I was going to be in San Jose. And the last day in Hawaii, I fell on the sidewalk. I was trying to stop somebody from falling.
And then you fell?
And I went to go, and I fell.
I thought you just randomly fell. I was like, what are you, a fucking toddler?
No, I was a girl. I was after a show. I was talking to this girl outside of the venue, like on this sidewalk in Honolulu. And it was like a really high sidewalk, and some guy like bumped into her, and she started falling off, and I went to go stop her from falling. And have you ever like opened a door and you misjudge the weight?
Sure.
So you, instead of pulling the door open, you just bring yourself toward the door.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always just jamming my own fingers in my door.
Yeah. So I went to go stop her from falling, and then I grabbed her, and then I just went with her, and we both fell, and I put my hand behind her so she wouldn't hit her head, and
Feel that pussy.
No, that's not where it is. It's down there.
Oh.
And she landed on my hand, and it split my finger open.
Oh.
And because it's Hawaii, there's like extra crazy bacteria, so my whole arm was like fucked up.
Are you serious?
Just from the small cut. So I was in the hospital for like 3 days.
Like your arm just started to get
It was
like
bloated and red. It was so bad.
It felt kind of fucking jacked though. Like
No, it felt bad. I couldn't close my hand at all. It was pretty nasty. And so I landed in LA and then in Hollywood, and then I was like,
you flew on the plane with the messed up hand? Or
it was just a small cut.
But I'm saying,
But it was bloated.
But you stayed in the Hawaiian hospital.
No, I didn't know.
Oh, you went on the plane with
I just put a Band-Aid on, and then
Shit.
on the plane, on the way down on the descent, I had fallen asleep. I'm like, this is bad. Like I was like red all up in my arm.
And it
I'm
was
like,
painful.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went to the hospital, and it was the Hollywood hospital, like right next to the hotel. I walked right over there. I just put my bags down and walked over, and I walk into the emergency room. There's probably 120 people in the emergency room.
Yeah.
I walk up to the desk. She goes, "Need to get him admitted right now." And
Really?
they brought me right back there. It was like 1 a.m. and I was there for like 3 days. And she hit me up. She's like, "Hey, I see you're doing a show at the Improv. We were supposed to, hang out." I'm like, "I'm actually in the hospital right now."
Yeah.
And then we started texting that night when it started getting better. And we started texting that whole night, which was great for me. I have ADHD, so when we were texting, it was like a good first date because then I can go back and read the shit she told me that I was supposed to already remember.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, how are your two sisters?" And we started talking, and then just started talking on the phone a lot. And then it was like a month later, we met in person for the first time.
Dude, sometimes when you know.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it was like I've never had a relationship like this where I was like, "Oh, it's actually like a best friend."
Right.
Like it's actually somebody I want to talk to.
Right.
And not like somebody who I think I would want to be with.
Right.
Because I don't know about you, but it's just like sometimes it's just like, oh, I like a pretty girl.
Sure.
And then the rest of it I can figure it out.
Right.
And then 3 months later you're like, oh, I hate talking to you.
Right.
Or
But
whatever.
you don't feel that with
No.
her. But it has only been 5 months.
It has been 5 months. Yeah.
That's the thing, buddy.
Time's been flying.
It has. I'm with Jeff. Listen to me. I'm with you. I'm supportive of you, but you gotta understand that you're saying shit like this. You're like, she's the one that's connected. We don't even fight. I'm like, yeah, because you only just met last week. That's what it is. But you know what, dude? I gotta be honest with you. I kind of like how you're doing this. You're like, go hard, go home. I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
And I respect, because you've dated other girls for 5 months and you haven't wanted to do this, so there's something different about her.
I've only dated like this, been with somebody this long. Like my average relationship is like 2 months, 3 months,
Right.
and then like a break, and then like us talking again. Because a lot of women get like angry with me because I'll do stupid shit. I'll do stupid shit
what?
a lot.
Like what will you do?
I was like one time I was seeing this girl, really nice girl, was a spin instructor in New York.
Oh, it sounds like my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like we were out in my apartment, and I was just like, we were like drinking that night. We came home, we were just hanging out, and I was playing on a keyboard, like just messing around. and she like got so mad at me because she's like, "Have you been listening to anything I said?" I hadn't listened at all.
No, you're playing the keyboard. You're
That's all it
your
was.
tunes, babe.
And so then she goes, I go, of course. I said, of course, I'm listening to you. And she goes, name one thing I said in the past 10 minutes. And so I went on the keyboard and I went, dun, 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 like that. And she got like physically mad at me. Not physically, but like.
What a psycho. I think that's funny and cute.
Yeah. I thought so she goes, you're a piece of shit, screaming at me. And then she walked out and I go, I don't know if that's me at all, but that was probably the last straw. That wasn't the one thing I did that day. It was probably a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But it's me being forgetful and shit like that. But with her, it has been super easy. It's just like we're both.
She lets you play the keyboard around her.
No, I'm not allowed to do a lot of things, but no, of course, yeah, no, she's good.
Did you do that thing where, like, Bachelorette, like you gave her the rose with the
No,
proposal?
I did get a big fat rose tattoo. That's not for her though.
That isn't. It's just coincidence.
It's just coincidence.
A
But
coinky dink.
the internet fucking ate my lunch on that shit, dude. They were like,
Oh, this is like a known thing about you with the Bachelorette. You're public about this shit.
yeah, she posted about it. And
Okay,
it, like,
great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's known.
So, okay, I understand now, and that's why Bobby Kelly was showing pictures or video because
All the
for the
YouTube-
show. She had to do it for the show, dude. It's not.
I know.
That's all it is, bro.
That's all it is. And
But
she
some
was,
of those guys were probably fucking ripped and like gorgeous.
Yeah.
God, that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. But that also makes me like,
Look at me, look at me, old fucking Jeff Fathead got her.
That's my nickname.
Yeah.
Starting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing that I hated was like the thought of like, or I was been talking about on stage a little bit, riffing with it, but the fact that like if you like this is what you get when you don't win. Like
funny.
I'm waiting on the wings. Like I can't pick you up when you jump, but I can make you laugh. You know.
Well, I mean, what if it's beautiful? Now, did you watch that episode of The Bachelorette with her in it? Did you know who she was before? Like
No.
Okay.
I didn't know who she was. I just
Right.
she like followed me and liked. You know how you can see like verified follows or whatever. Like
Sure.
it's like notifications come up, I guess. And it was like a bunch of things that she liked, and I'm like, who is she? She seems really pretty. And then I was like, if you're ever in New York, let me know. And she's like, New York scares me.
You want to come to the show?
You like comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we just wait, I forgot what we were talking about.
I'm saying like you didn't know who she was like at all.
No.
She was like liking your stuff, but you
And I
hadn't
didn't
seen her on
know.
The Bachelorette.
But then apparently my sister's a big fan of hers. Like she like loved that season and loves her. And she was also on like F Boy Island and like a couple other.
Your fiance.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was on a show called Fuckboy.
Yeah, she was on Fuckboy Island. I met her last week. She's my fiance. Do you think what did your mom and dad say?
They love her.
Right.
The mom
They're not
says,
scared at all.
No, my parents got married after like 3 months, and they still live in the same house. You know,
True.
they don't make eye contact anymore.
True.
I remember we were taking family photos.
Yeah.
And my dad and my mom, like they're like an old school couple.
Yeah.
Like we're married. Like
Yeah.
you know, but we were like taking photos, and the photographer was like, "All right, now just Pat and Steve."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right," and he goes, "All right, now turn to your wife and look her in the eyes." And my dad goes, "Ugh," like that, to the camera, goes, "Ugh," and then turns, looks at my mom, and he grimacing through his teeth, just goes, "Hurry up." Like that, and they both started laughing. And I'm like, I love that your common laughter is that you don't like each other anymore.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
I got him a VR headset. And
Sick.
Yeah, and he loves it. He uses it every night. My mom's like 3 hours a night. He's on that thing.
Yeah, he's fucking cranking it to whatever VR porn there is.
No, next she goes, every time I sit down on the couch, he puts the headset on, and like he just is on all night.
He just goes into a life that he wishes he had. That's what it is.
So she goes, send me a picture, and I'm 90% sure there's supposed to be like a blinking light. It's not. I don't think it's on. I think she just sits down. And he's like, gotta go.
Yeah, he's just fast asleep in there. He doesn't care. Wow.
I'm playing the snoring game. Yeah.
Now, do you guys want kids, the whole thing, or
We're talking about it. You know, that was the thing that I told her because
So
like
you're pulling out right now.
You know, I mean, she's on birth control. so
Okay,
I don't know.
dude, you can blast through a pill. I did it.
You can blast through a pill.
100%, dude. It depends how hard your swimmers are, dude. My fucking guys were ready to go.
Really?
Yeah, dude. They blasted through birth control.
Every time she says her boobs hurt, I do get a little.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But if she got pregnant right now somehow, you would gladly.
I'd be into it.
Yeah.
You know, I want kids, I think. But we also talked about one thing I did tell her was that's not like an expectation. So like if we get married, because she's 33, I'm 37. So I'm like, if we get married and then you're not, like, if something either of us were not able to, that wouldn't end the marriage. Like that's not like the reason I'm marrying you.
Oh, that's good.
I think that's a good assurance.
100%. That's good. You're getting married for the right reasons.
Yeah, she's like my best friend. It's so sick. We play video games together. It's the best. It's so
Dude,
cool.
I'm you're turning me around on this. I'm believing in all this.
There we go.
But I will say this though. I do believe in it, but it also does have, Netflix documentary written all over it.
Oh, yeah.
It does kind of have, kind of my crazy ex, not my crazy ex, but like one of those ones, like, that show Snapped, where you just fucking kill everybody. You do have fucking Chris Benoit written all over you.
Really? Okay, so you're telling me on the recording that you think I'm gonna murder my wife?
I think no. I'm just saying, no, I don't think you're going to. But I think that
It's got the beginnings.
Yeah, you're in, but you know what though? But here's what I'll say about it is I think, and I'm not alone in it, I think me, along with many other women, think that's hot. I think that your passion for her and her passion, what it seems like for you, is hot. And I'm kind of all for, like I said, go hard or go home. If you're going to love, don't fucking half-ass it.
Yeah.
You go in. Also at 37, it's like, you fucking know. She's 33.
Yeah, exactly. That's my argument too, is like, we're not 23 just going like, yeah, we like each other's vibes right now. No. We kind of figured it out. We have the same exact ideals and principles and all that stuff, that it's like, why wouldn't we do this?
Where are you guys going to get married? What are you thinking?
We were debating it, but we're thinking. I told her to close her eyes and picture what it would look like, because she was having a hard time figuring out. Her family lives in Washington. Mine lives in Michigan now. Oh, like shit. My dad, my mom, all my sisters.
Wow, the Flowerama family left?
Yeah.
All in Michigan?
It was like, once that ended, the relationship with his father ended.
Damn.
My dad was like, let's just move to Michigan, where my mom's family is.
Yeah.
And we'll start over. He started doing real estate. Now he does tile.
Oh.
He lays tile.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the innuendo there?
Yeah.
He lays tile, dude.
What's up, everybody? Let's talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action, baby. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars of award winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less of at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Give me that taco. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Okay, so download the app today and use code CHAOS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code CHAOS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks runs your game. Prize Picks, run your game. Now, like this week on Prize Picks, you're looking at the football board, say, and you're selecting Jamar Chase for more than 79.5 receiving yards and Patrick Mahomes for more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. So that's how you win. Do you understand? You just pick one. Or Travis Kelce for more than 59.5 receiving yards and Saquon Barkley for more than 79.5 rushing yards. So that's how it works. Prize Picks, run your game. Wait, so Michigan or the state of Washington?
State of Washington, yeah. So I told her to picture what she would want, and then I think what we're thinking about now is like Northern California in the fall. Because she wants like a woods. She pictured the woods. So I'm like, so it's not going to be Michigan or New York, ideally.
You going to do a big one? You're going to do a big wedding?
Smaller the better. She doesn't even want a wedding.
See, I like that. She doesn't even want to blow the money on the wedding, because it does feel silly to spend a lot of money on the wedding when you could just put it into a house or an investment.
That's exactly what she said.
That's good. So I like that's marriage material.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of very like marriage. She's also literally everything she said to me that she's like, you should do this because I bet you this is going to happen. It's 100% of the time.
She's spot on. And she probably is good. She also too. What I like about this relationship is she feels like she's got like her own career stuff. She's not being with you because she needs to. She's being with you because she wants to.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
That's the thing too. Is she does her own thing. She does like brand deal stuff, and she does social media really well.
Yeah,
I just post my clips and that's it.
Right.
But she's really good with all that, and like I know I joked around with like the tour manager thing, but she would be a great help because she's very like, here's what we need to do, here's the itinerary, and I'm the opposite.
You can't bring her into the business. You can't do it. It's gonna get so, dude. What if it gets messy? Then what? You know, she's fucking booking you in Kuwait. You can't do it.
Not like booking me. Tour manager meaning just more like, hey, make sure everyone's down in the lobby by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but then she's gonna, dude. I don't think you could do. I think we got to separate.
A little bit.
I'm a I'm a big believer. But you do whatever the hell you want.
I know. I try. I take your advice. I do because I.
Thank you.
I do agree because there was like one time, what was it? I did something stupid.
Not playing the keyboard. You're not allowed to do that.
No. It was. I forget what it was, but it was like something that I did where I just glossed over something that happened with her, and then I was like, oh yeah, okay. But look what happened. Look at this guy. This guy gave me a T-shirt on stage tonight, and she's like, can you just for 1 second like listen to what I said to you? And it was one of those things where I felt off. It was like one of the few times where I was like, oh, she's upset with me.
Right.
And it like affected me to where I was going up on the second show, and I called her and I'm like, I cannot have this right now. I cannot have the thought of you being pissed off at me right now before I go up. And so the thought of like integrating that into On the Road, where it's like, what if we get into an argument? And then she's she's like backstage, like right there. And I'm like, yeah.
You don't want it, man. You don't want it. You don't need it. I think, let her, you keep it separated. But I think, are any comics going to get invited to the wedding?
I've debated that just because it's one of those messy things where it's like, if you invite 2, that's intimate. But if you invite like 4 comics, you really got to invite 8. And then I might as well invite 10.
Yeah, I think, are you going to be the guy who wears your tuxedo with Jordan sneakers? Are you going to wear Jordans?
I cannot do that.
Refuse to wear the shoes? Because a lot of guys do that. It's fucking stupid.
I do not like that at all. I've never liked suits and sneakers I've never seen that. I think just buy a pair of shoes. I'm going to get I'm going to get a tuxedo classic. I'm going to go. Because I told her, she's like, you're the only guy I could imagine wanting this. But I was like, I want to see you in a wedding dress. I do want to see that stuff.
Hell yeah.
She doesn't want the wedding. And I'm like, I do. But I'm also saying that because you have to do most of the work.
Dude, you kind of have the brain of a woman.
A little bit.
I think all of us as comics kind of do. We kind of all have women's brains, right? If you think, I mean, even like what we're doing, like we're not real men. We're not like, this is like not a man's job. Like think about like an old school man being like, what do? You tell jokes?
Yeah.
I do that shit on my fucking lunch break when I'm building buildings with my hands. I can do your whole career on my fucking coffee break.
Yeah.
Hey, you stealing that guy's car phone.
Yeah.
So I think that we are kind of like women, because what you're describing to me, you're describing the perfect wedding to me, like, and what you want to see in a wedding dress, all these beautiful things, the moments, the connections, the blah, blah, but it's how a woman thinks.
Yeah.
And maybe you found your counterpart in this woman because she has more of a man's brain. And you've connected with each other, even though you have a woman's brain in a male's body, and she has a man's brain in a woman's body. That's possible. I mean, she was on Fuckboy Island.
That's true.
Yeah,
but she's There's moments, dude. There's so many moments where I'm like, oh hell yeah! Like, what was it? A few weeks ago, we're having an engagement party in Michigan because a lot of my mom, like my close family, like my cousins and shit, won't be coming to a destination wedding.
They will not.
So my mom was like, "Can you just do an engagement party here? We'll invite everybody there." And then, I'll pay for the music or whatever. And I was like, all right. So we're organizing it. And she agreed.
Pay for the music. How much is the music?
I don't.
You could have. You know what I mean? Come on, Mom.
Me and her were like, we don't want music in an engagement party.
We don't need to pay for everything else.
Yeah. So we were. She's gonna like organize this with my sisters and my mom, which my sisters and my mom are really into this. Mm-hmm. And so she surprised them and me by flying to Michigan and working it out with my one sister. She picked her up from the airport and spent 4 days to get to know my sisters and my mom and organize and look at venues.
Oh, sick.
She just flew all the way there for 4 days just to do that. And I was like, you need a heads up with my family. Yeah. And it was funny. She's like, my one sister has a chaos house. She has like 3 kids, 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Yeah.
Insane. It's always loud. Right. She would send me voice messages of like just ambient noise. And you just hear like, ah.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts.
That's
But
my
I was
fun.
like, you need to give me a heads up when you go see my family because there's a lot of like prefacing I need to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we gotta tell them about your grandfather. There's a whole thing. I think with this wedding too, and this time in your life, I think that we're gonna see who the real Jeff is over the next year. I think we're gonna see who is Jeff. Is it the Jeff that's been presented to us? Is it this guy who we love on the socials and who we're seeing kill it? This flower-rama Jeff. Is that the real Jeff, or is the real Jeff coming out post-marriage? We don't know, and that's what we're waiting to see.
Okay.
I don't know if marriage is going to change you.
Oh, you think
in
so?
a positive or negative way. I don't know yet, Jeff.
How could it change you mean negative? Let's just think hypothetically. Like, would I become short-tempered?
You could literally become your father, and then you're sitting here 20 years from now, sitting next to your wife with the VR goggles on. They're not even connected, and you just want to get out of it. And then this joy that you have on your face, that's gone.
This is not joy.
That's that's fear. That's it, dude. All you got to do is put a little mustache on, and then you're your dad. And so is that, or is this going to make you a version of Jeff that
I think she makes me a better person.
Okay.
More organized. I'm also like, I don't know. You've been single on the road before.
I have.
When
been,
it's
yes.
just like, oh, you know what? Like, hey, let's go celebrate and get drinks afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't do as much because now I'm like, I'm gonna go call my fiance and go back to my room and get a good night rest.
Right,
I'm doing
right.
that a lot more. Which I started doing before I met her, anyways. Like just kind of chilling out and not trying to like party every weekend.
Basically, like what I'm asking you is like, do you think when you get married, is that going to push you to be, the biggest, baddest version of you, crushing it, or are you going to go insane? Are you going to become Jeffrey Bezos or Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh, okay.
Dahmer. Are you going to eat black men in Milwaukee? That's what we're asking here?
There's not a lot of good Jeffs that made me realize that.
No, there's almost none. There's almost no good Jeffs.
Well, now I'm getting married. I'm gonna be the good Jeff.
Why?
I'm gonna become
the good Jeff.
Yeah.
There are. Yeah, that's actually I've never even thought about Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeff Goldblum's good.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's good. There's one good one right there.
Yep. DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff is good. Thomas Jefferson.
George.
Yeah, Jefferson. Yeah. All right. So I think that this is I'm interested. I really that really hit a place for me when you told me about, because I didn't know anything about it. Because what I like to do, because I only know you. I know you as we know each other, but I don't like to. I'm not like going on the internet to like search for things with people that I know. Like, let's just talk honestly. And I'm happy to. Did you check with our good friend Jared Freed, who runs the Bachelorette podcast and everything? He's the guy. Did you check with him to make sure that she's okay?
No.
You got to check with Jared Freed, aka J Train, to make sure he will know everything about. He knows more about her than you do.
Yeah.
So you have to just check with him before you sign that paper. Just check with him and make sure he gives you the A-okay. I'm sure he will, but just make sure.
I never watched any of the shit though. And I also don't think that's a good representation of who a person is who they were on reality TV.
Right.
Because a lot of that stuff is curated, a lot of it's produced.
Sure.
So I think there's a lot of the clips I have seen that Bobby Kelly made me watch. I was like, oh, that's not even
very
really
funny that he did that.
It was. I was like, that isn't really even her. I could see that she's like doing what they said, because she told me like a lot of the stuff they do is they'll ask you a series of questions and to get your reactions out of them, but then they'll throw questions at you to make you cry. And then they'll like, for example, they'll be like, so how did you feel the date went? And she'd be like, it was okay. Could have gone better. And then like later on, they'd be like, how do you feel about your dog dying last week? And then you're like, I hated it. Yeah. And then they're like, let's use that answer for that question.
They do like that scumbag shit.
Yeah. They'll like, or get you crying and then be like, okay, now let's talk about this really quick while you're still crying. And so it looks like you're upset about something that you were completely not upset about.
Yeah, I'm just not. They asked me to do Dancing with the Stars.
Really?
Yeah, and I just said no, because I was like, I'm not going to. First of all, I don't want to dance. I have an Achilles issue. And second of all, I was like, I know that they'll like edit things. I'm like, if I want to, that's the beauty about like what we do here. It's like, we could just control our own edits. Why do I need you from fucking ABC making me look like a dick.
Yeah.
You know, or like getting my family involved. Like, I don't want to do that at all.
That's what scares me about like America's Got Talent.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. Did you do it? You didn't do America.
No.
Did you do any of those shows? You didn't do any of
the
those
talent shows?
No, yeah, you weren't on like America's Got Talent or
I
Last
did
Comic Standing.
but not like.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that, but I'm saying
competitive ones?
none of those, right? You didn't do that. Yeah.
There was a comic I knew that did it. That was like the way they edit it. It's like they can make or break you.
Yeah, dude. I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
I don't need that shit. But I will tell you, if my tickets don't pick up, I will go on Dancing with the Stars next year.
Do it.
You think I should do it?
I think you absolutely should do it.
Yeah.
And I bet you that they would probably come up with a dance that would, appease your Achilles.
I don't know, dude. I was just like, I can't dance, and that'll be fun. By the way, that'll be great for a relationship. Where I'm fucking dancing with some smoking hot fucking Russian chick, and I have to be with her all day. And I'm sure I'll be good at home. I'm sure I'll get friendly FaceTimes.
Well, Show me the room. Show me the room.
Yeah. Well, I know now my little 9-year-old will know, like, you know, she has a phone now that only works like on the Wi-Fi in the house. It's like, you know, just want to give her a little something. And she, so we FaceTime every morning. You know, she FaceTime me tonight. This morning at 6:15 a.m. Woke me. I was drinking all night last night. Just fucking woke me up. You know, ready to go for school. She's like, look at my new outfit, Dad. I'm like, you wear a Catholic school uniform. It's the same thing every fucking day. But she's like, and then she's like, you know, just kind of like her mom. Like her mom wasn't even there. Her mom was upstairs with my other daughter, and she's like, I'm talking to my daughter. I'm like, hey, honey, whatever. And she's like, why are the lights off? And I'm like, it's 6:15 in the morning. She's like, turn on the lights. And I was just like, but honey, they're all the way over there. She's like, why don't you want to turn on the lights, Dad? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, just give me a minute. I was like, hey, you gotta go. And then I just turned on the lights, and then, you know, and then my daughter was like, oh, I want to see the room. I'm like, I know what the fuck you're like. No, you don't. What is this? And I was like, did you do your math homework? She's like, yeah. Well, let me see your room.
Yeah. There better not be a 1 + 1.
Yeah. She's like, is there a hair on your toothbrush? And so, but that's what happens if, you know, you have daughters, and hopefully you don't.
I had a woman's underwear in my laundry one time.
In your laundry?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And I had a girl I was seeing at the time, and I had no explanation except that it was just from the laundromat. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I'm like, I'm not lying. I didn't have a
thong. What were they? Granny
It was
panties?
like a bright pink thong. Yeah. I don't even know how I missed
them.
it.
Were you? She's not mad at you because of that. You were like this. That's why. That's the part you leave out. You came on. You just fucking. You had them up your nostrils.
No, I just go. I don't know her.
I don't know. That can happen, by the way. That's a very actually good excuse, which I bet a lot of guys listening to this podcast right now are like writing that down. Like, oh, I should just send my laundry out. If I'm going to cheat on my wife, I'm going to send my laundry out the next day. Be like, I'm doing this for you, babe. I want you to, you're hurting your back at the washer dryer. But it's really just like, hey, if some random underwear is in my thing, I'll say, it's not me. It's in fucking Koreans.
Yeah. See? There you go.
Stealing that guy's car phone.
It was a Korean. That was.
Was it? No. Oh. Yeah, no. Well, that's good. And then tonight, and then you're here in Austin, you're doing the theaters. And then how do you feel? How do you feel about your comedy success? Because I know that can be it can be rough. It can mess with you emotionally.
It does, man. I'm trying to like maintain like I still want to feel lucky every day, because I am like I kind of my trajectory was pretty quick. That's what I'm trying to say. I've been doing comedy for 15 years, but it was like I went from like nothing to like I was like, let me just try doing social media and starting it. And then now it was like I just want to do clubs for a while because I'm like, I don't want to go to theaters. But now doing theaters, I'm like, I still get chills. I try not to take it for granted. Right. But it's still pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Like coming out to that many people. The biggest thing is like not having the imposter syndrome of I don't want to go out there and be like and have a mediocre set and people go, okay, it's just the online magic.
Yeah.
So I'm really adamant about like doing at least an hour and having a joke structure, like set structure, to where I have a call back to one of my first few jokes on my last joke.
So it's not, when you do a theater, it's not all crowd work. What the crowd work is what you show online, but at the actual show, people know it's material as well.
But I still have people that will hit me up and be like, I can't believe you just do all crowd work. Like I was just at your show and it was all crowd work. And I'm like, oh, beautiful. You thought that I was just improvising that whole time. Yeah. But it's not. I think people are doing it now more and more. But it was something that me and Jordan, and I'm sure you've done, I've seen you do it before, where maybe not, but me and Jordan were doing this at the Cellar when we became friends, Jordan Jensen.
Sure.
Where if you have a new topic that you're going through, like let's say if you're like pregnancy or whatever.
Yeah.
Anybody else pregnant or whatever like that. Then you just ask the audience that. You have a reason to bring it up because you have a full bit about it.
Sure.
But you ask how they pertain to it.
Yeah.
And then you move on. And it doesn't need to be funny.
Oh, yeah. Listen, the days of like, you just putting out, hey, where you're from? And then they're like, Cleveland. You're like, hey, you stupid fucking asshole. That's not going to work anymore. You have to do now. Yes, if it's I don't even call it crowd work. It's getting the crowd involved in the bit in a way. But it is the bit. You know what I mean? It is like, it's not, like you said, you're asking them set up questions to get you into the bit.
Yeah.
Which is, so it's kind of like, it's the same thing comedians have been doing from the beginning, except the crowd just gets involved with the setup, which is better because then the crowd feels like that's why I think one of the biggest parts of Matt Rife's success was the crowd. You go to a Matt Rife show, you're going to feel like you as an audience member are actually a part of the show, which how many other, that's not every comedian's like that.
No. No, and the thing is, I think that it's important to integrate the audience, like with my audience especially, because that's what they're there for.
It's important to integrate them and segregate them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
But I do like making them feel like even if they're not part of it, like they don't need to be called on for it to be funny.
Yeah.
But I do like to go into the crowd a little bit, but I also love to do my own jokes and structure my shit up. That's what I love about the Cellar is that I can go out there with like 3 minutes of ideas, and then by the end of a week of spots, I have like a new 12 minutes.
And then what's your thing? You put it all out in like 1 to 2 minute clip increments? Is that how you like what you think?
For what?
Like when you're doing the Cellar and you're filming it all, do you put it out then like on a weekly basis on like your socials, like the shit you're doing that week?
I don't put the bits out as much.
Right.
Because like there was, what was it? Like the last 2 weeks at the Cellar, I was basically doing the same 15 minutes, which was a lot of about me talking about me and her. She recorded us having sex by accident.
Oh, good.
It was a Furbo, like a cat camera.
Nice.
And so it's just a long bit about that. And
it's just your fucking butt dimples just thrust in.
You ever seen yourself have sex?
Yes, I actually have. Yes.
You make changes.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
perfect. On the Diddy sex tapes. Yeah.
Just see you squeak by.
I'm just fucking blowing Odell Beckham in the back of a club.
And you're just angry at your posture.
Yeah. I'm just, people are still shitting on that I have no legs and I skip leg day. I'm getting bent over by Meek Mills.
Yeah, but I was like, I had like a 2 minutes on that, and then now it's become close to 15.
Right.
Based on what I've asked audience members, I'll take what they said. Like, what was the bit? I have a bit now that I'm doing where I kind of integrate it into mine. Where if you ever said something during sex,
right,
and then they ignored you, and somebody was like, "I said I love you."
Right.
And I was like, that's the end of that. You can't follow it up.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear what I said? Like, you can't, like, it gets creepy. Like, and so I just take the audience interactions. Sometimes I keep them and I'll put them on the internet, but then I put them into my bit.
And the thing is, you were doing that 10 years ago. Like, that's always what you've been.
Do you know what I was? Yeah. Well, I wasn't doing it like when I opened for you. I wasn't doing.
The hell just happened?
My ring. I dropped my ring earlier.
Is that like an aura ring? One of those like rings that does
you know
your
what this
data?
Is? It's a Tibetan healing ring. They're cheap. They're like $10 on Amazon. But I found it because I was. It was like, you know, I don't know if you remember this, but SD auditions people, and then like in 2 weeks she'll like kind of come watch you and make sure you're doing well.
Yeah.
And so it was that second time she came to see me.
Yeah.
I did different material than I auditioned with.
Yeah.
I felt great. Like I did great, and then I walk off stage, and she hugged me and goes, "Very funny," like this, and I was like, "Oh, I was
you
like
got
floating."
chubby.
Yeah, I walked right past her, and at the Cellar at the McDougal Street, I stepped on this weird ring. It fits perfectly. I waited for the end of the show to see if anybody claimed it. I told the servers.
Right.
And
I love that. That's the real reason you got the infection in your arm. You just picked up a random ring on the floor and put it on. You're like. It was the Hawaiian dirt. I'm like, no, dude. You fucking put a ring from the West Village on your finger.
But this is the ring from the Cellar I stepped on, and then I thought it was some like golden, some amazing ring, and then Jordan Jensen was like, "That's a Tibetan healing ring. They're like $12 on Amazon."
She knows.
Yeah,
her mom's a lesbian. She knows.
Yeah,
yeah.
But back to the crowd work thing is what started me doing more crowd work was working on cruise ships.
Oh shit! Okay.
I did cruises for like a year and a half, 2 years.
So cruises for the fans that don't know is you have to go on. You're on the ship for how many days? Explain cruise ship comedy to like the people that don't know, because a lot of people don't know.
Well, I just worked in the kitchen. I wasn't doing.
You were working with the other Filipinos.
No, you go on a cruise ship. It depends. So like pre-COVID, I'll tell you how it works. Is like it would be a week. So like one contract would be 5 shows. Okay. So you would say ideal, like an easy contract would be a 5-day cruise, 1 show a night, 30 minutes.
Have to be clean.
You have to have one PG show that's 30 minutes long. This is Carnival. Now with the other ones, you'd have to have 2 45s, 1 clean 45 and 1 adult 45.
Wow.
But with Carnival, you just need to have 1 clean 30 and then 2 separate adult 30 minutes.
That are different material.
All different material.
So you need to have 90 minutes total of different material.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why some people are like, oh, it's cruise ship comedy. And it's like, okay, that's still 90 minutes of having to work with the audience and figure it out.
And the only way to do that is, well, not the only way. One of the best ways to do that is to do the crowd work.
So that's what I figured out was I was fine just doing my sets. I wasn't doing any crowd work.
Right.
I'm like, it's a cruise ship. These people are like eating pasta, you know?
Yeah, they're fucking fat slobs just floating in the middle of the fucking ocean, burning up fuel.
Oh,
And just
yeah.
being like, we should detonate those ships. You want to get rid of the fat people? Fuck Ozempic, blow up the cruise ships.
The worst people were the ones that had
Dr.
like,
Drew told me that. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, so what I started doing was people would come back. So if I had to do 5 shows, I'd have to repeat the adult show and then I'd repeat the PG show. And then I would be like performing and then I'd like have another show and I'm like, hey, the next show is repeating the first one. And people would be like, oh, I liked watching it, so I'm going to watch it again.
That's all. That's like music then. It becomes like they want to hear that song.
But
again.
it sucks because then they're sitting there going,
yeah, I heard that and
yes.
he's going to do that.
And I'm like, I told you it's a repeat show. So that started getting to me. So I was
Sure.
like, I need to stretch my shit out.
Why not, dude? You're on a cruise ship. You got no windows. You're in fucking international waters, dude. Anything goes. Get on the black market.
So I started doing crowd work in between jokes. And it was like a little bit too much in the beginning where I was just like,
right.
So I had a crazy day. Anybody else have a crazy day?
Yeah.
It was like too much. But then I would try and write local shit and like to each whichever country we were going to or whatever.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun, but I started stretching it out more that way was just like taking my 1 30-minute set and splitting it in half and just doing 15 minutes but crowd work.
Did you ever have a show where you fucking ate it and bombed hard and then you just have to sit on the cruise ship with these people?
Hard.
Like a 0 and then you just have to buffet like, we had your show last night?
Yeah. It was like my second cruise ever. It was a retirement cruise where they're on the boat for like a month.
Right.
And I get off. I was like, oh, this will be fun because I did one before. It was really fun. And the other guy that was on this cruise, I can't say his name, but let's just say it was like not a normal name. It was like Tom the Crazy Guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like he had like one of those names where it's
Segura.
like no last name. Yeah, it was like
Tom the Crazy Guy Segura.
But he had like, he wore like crazy looking suits. And he wasn't a comedian first. He was a cruise director that became a comedian.
Okay.
And so then he was like,
Bert Kreischer.
he was, he would be a great cruise director.
He would, yeah, that's what he's going to wind up as.
Yeah, he would go around before my show. He walked around to my audience and was handing out his business card and being like, "Don't forget to come to my show too. Come to my show."
Yeah.
And it was a retirement cruise, so the late show that I was doing was like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was eating. I was doing bad. I was like talking about shit, and everyone was just like, "What are you talking?" Like everyone was 80.
Dude, with old people like that, if that ever happens to you again, you just fucking, if you're a bombing like that, you just go into the story about your grandpa with the car phone. And you say that word, and then you get an applause break. So what happens? So you're bombing.
I bombed hard.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes up to me afterwards and he goes, "You got to know your audience, man. All right. They don't know what dating is. They haven't dated in 50 years. Real like, I'll teach you, kid. You know?"
Right, yeah.
And I was like, okay. I didn't want to
Yeah,
say his name.
you know, he doesn't understand that like that guy's like the last person you'd ever want to be.
Right,
Or be
exactly.
taking advice from.
And then I just kind of bombed. I adjusted, but I still kind of bombed that week.
Right.
And the thing is, we were still on the same ship for the next cruise.
Oh, shit.
And the next cruise was a spring break cruise, weekend 3-day cruise, where you had to do 5 shows in 3 days. So it was like dirty show. Like,
and like young kids, like it's a spring break cruise, right?
And he ate his
Of course.
because he was doing his Joel Osteen impression. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
he
they
was
were
doing
like,
like
"What?"
yeah, and it was just like, oh, you ever go to church? Just like kneel down, stand up, kneel down, and these spring breakers were like, it's 11:30 at night. This is what the jokes are doing.
They're like, we're sitting here with gonorrhea trying to laugh it off.
Yeah, and then I walked up to him after he like kind of bombed, and I go, "You just gotta kind of know your audience, man, you know." And he was like, "All right, I deserve that," and he was fine after that.
Oh, that's
but,
good. At least he owned up to it.
Yeah,
And then, but so that's good. But see that, like that's the thing. Like the Beatles, like we know they got so good because they like there's that story of them playing for like years at like this fucking bar in Germany where like nobody was listening and they just cut your chops, and that's how you. I never knew that about you. That you got good on the cruise ships because we all thought you were dead, dude. Nobody knew where Jeff Arcuri was for like years, but you were on the fucking just on the international water.
I was just it was
performing for old people.
Freeing, dude. I kind of loved it. There's no cell phone service.
Yeah,
I was just running on the top deck. I just go work out. I'd meet the crew. I'd always hang out with the crew, like because it was weirdly segregated. A lot of casual racism, but like funny.
It's
like,
international waters. Anything goes.
Yeah, true.
It's pirate behavior.
Oh yeah, I've said things I could never say on land.
Right, of course, dude.
my grandfather would be proud.
Yeah.
No, it was just like a lot of casual racism, and like the crew bar was like dollar drinks.
Sure.
So I'd meet with the dancers and the singers and the guitar players, and we'd all like drink till 1 a.m. because I'm like, I don't have to work till I have one 30-minute set tomorrow.
Must have been a sex fest.
No,
really,
not really. No, because you can't mess with the guests.
You're not allowed to have sex with the guests.
No.
Is that a rule?
Yeah.
You cannot. Interesting.
Yeah. They check your penis every morning.
Whoa, yeah, make sure. And you can't have sex with the staff?
You can.
You don't have sex. Oh, I would like to have sex with like, an old school fucking Filipino boat captain.
Oh.
Probably went through the war. Oh, you're
All
talking about
Italian.
girls, sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, all the staff was like the officers were all Italian.
Okay.
They're all like speaking Italian, walking around the ship speaking Italian.
So there's no hot Italian babes on the boat?
The dancers and singers were attractive. So the dancers and singers would oftentimes date the officers because they'd be like these like buongiorno principessa, and they're like, I like to dance on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they allowed to bang each other? Can staff members bang?
So
That's all good.
I kissed a lady. It was
Who was a staff member?
I was on a ship for a month. So
in the galley?
Yeah, it was in the.
She got fingered in the galley.
It was like B deck.
Ooh.
It was below deck, so it was below the sea line.
Did your room have windows, or do you have below deck rooms?
I got one ship. I one time had a window. And it was like I felt like I was royalty.
You couldn't. But that couldn't have been fun for you to be like on these cruises, right?
I made the best of it. I played like video games, but I set a schedule every day where I would read like 2 chapters of a book. I'd write. I'd go work out. And then I eat sensibly, and then I just like relax the rest of the day, and then I just do my set. And I found my peace in the solitude.
Right. That having structure, that's the key.
Because it was that.
We
have
like
a prison. I am saying it like I am.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, you're wearing one of those. What are those things that the Muslim prisoners wear? Like those, they wear those hats. I forgot. You're reading the Quran.
From like Oz,
I don't fucking know,
Oz,
dude.
That guy.
Yes, that's what I was trying to channel.
But it was a little bit of a prison. But I found the structure.
Yeah.
I found my Muslim religion.
Shout out Muslims, man. I mean, Muslims, as people call them. I do like what they're about. I kind of like what they've been doing lately. I like the I like the new movement, man.
Top 3 things.
They're coming out on Muslim. What do I like? I like Ramadan. I mean, that's just intermittent fasting. So
that is.
And so Ramadan. Puerto Rican women are just kind of like Muslims, and Muslim women look very Latina. They're kind of just like hummus Latinas in a way.
That's true.
And what else, man? Just fucking, just kind of Allah being the Almighty is kind of dope, dude. Whatever kind of, Prophet Muhammad. I remember Mo Amer, a good friend of, Mo Amer, great friend of ours. Mo Amer, great guy. He used to stay at my apartment sometimes. And when, my daughter, she was 3 or 4 at the time. And I remember I slept in one night. My daughter was, sleeping over, and I slept in, and Mo was sleeping on the couch, and my daughter woke up early, and she loved. She called him Uncle Mo. She still loves him. And I come outside, and Uncle Mo was making her eggs, and my daughter's just sitting there in her little Minnie Mouse robe, and Uncle Mo is telling my daughter about how the Prophet Muhammad is the only real prophet because he's the only one who ever lived in recorded history. And he's teaching my daughter to be a fucking fundamentalist Muslim. And I'm like, this is pretty awesome. My daughter's just sitting there trying to watch Coco Melon.
Yeah.
And
it's like the second most popular religion in the world.
What's number 1?
Christianity.
Oh,
I think Christianity. I was just looking it up because I think Christianity takes the cake because it also affects Asia pretty hard. Not affects, but
right.
You know what I mean.
We've infiltrated the Asians.
Yeah.
You're Catholic or what?
Yeah.
Just whatever.
It's, there's probably something, because I think it's arrogant to think there's nothing.
I do. I agree with you.
So I think there's probably something, but I also don't, I want to hedge my bets a little bit.
Sure.
So if it's like, oh, it's Allah, I'd be like, Allah, ooh.
Whatever, dude. Whoever it is, I'm cool with it.
But I hope she's a gay black woman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hope she is too. I love it. Yeah. I like, I'm trying to think who's a good gay black woman. Michelle Obama. I don't know. Where can people? Well, where can everybody see you?
The internet, jeffarcuri.com for tickets.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know, that's pretty much
sold
it.
out anyway, bitch.
That was gross.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What'd you cough up?
It was just productive cough.
Oh, no. Well, at least it's productive.
That's
That's it, dude.
I got a lot
You're like
done.
on the cruise ship again, being productive.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff's got spit in his mouth. Thank you for coming on the show. ChrisDcomedy.com for all the dates, whatever. Put out stand-up every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, youtube.com/ChrisDComedy, putting out that week's material. So come check out his show. We'll see what happens. And we stay tuned for Jeff's wedding. See what happens.